We have a guide, a young Danish biologist who carries flares to scare them and a rifle as last resort in case of aggravated polar bears. But there are no polar bears. Polar bears? One of the ship's Russian crewmen had shaken his head. Ha! They ate the last one years ago. With an outcrop of smooth, bare rock to shelter us, we take off our rucksacks, set aside our cameras and the gun, crouch or sit down out of the breeze. It's a stern breeze, blowing from the land, insouciant now, but like everything here, it carries a sense of enormous strength withheld. Once everyone is settled, the guide makes a suggestion. Why don't we keep silent, just for a few minutes? Sit still and keep quiet. Just listen. We have the sea, deceptively calm and blue and serene with icebergs, stretching away eastward under an ashy sky. Below in the bay, our ship rides at anchor, looking overcomplicated among the smaller white tufts of ice which drift soundlessly around it. Though white, the ship looks dirty too, the way sheep suddenly look dirty when it snows. Behind the ship, the far side of the bay rises to a low brown ridge similar to this, and beyond that ridge is arranged a row of white pinnacles, the tips of icebergs grounded in a hidden inlet. Westward rises a range of brown, jagged mountains, and beyond the coastal range there are hints and gleams of something I thought at first was a band of low cloud, but it's ice, maybe the edge of the inland ice cap. The air is extraordinarily clear. That's what we see. What we listen to, though, is silence. Slowly we enter the most extraordinary silence, a radiant silence. It radiates from the mountains and the ice and the sky, a mineral silence which presses powerfully on our bodies, coming from very far off. It's deep and quite frightening, and makes my mind seem clamorous as a goose. I want to quell my mind, but I think it would take years. I glance at the others. Some people are looking out at the distant land and sea. Others have their heads bowed as if in church. A minute passes, maybe 2, maybe 5, just the breeze and this powering silence. Then a raven flies over. I knew Polly likes birds, so glanced to see if she's noticed it, and she has. Her head is tilted back, and quietly she's raised her gloved hand to shield her eyes. The bird, utterly black and alone in the sky, is heading inland on steady wings. It too keeps quiet. They used to navigate by raven, the Vikings, there being no stars visible at such high latitudes in summer. The old sagas say that the Viking settlers of Iceland took ravens. Out of sight of land, wallowing at sea, they would release a raven and watch it climb the air until it was high enough to sight land. Where the raven headed, they followed in their open boats. Maybe ravens had brought them here too, in their Greenlandic voyages 1,000 years ago. 1,000 years. The blink of an eye. Be quiet, I tell myself. Listen to the silence. I take my eye off the raven for a moment, and when I look back, it's gone. How long we sit there, I don't know. I know only that I'd never heard anything like it. A silence that could dismiss a sound, as wind could dismiss a feather. 5 minutes, 10 minutes in a lifetime. Some people say you can never experience true silence because you come to hear the high whine of your own nerves. That is to say, you hear the very nervous system which allows you to hear at all. Nerves because we are animals, not ice, not rock. Driven by cold and hunger. It's cold, our animal bodies say. Best get moving. Keep warm. Keep hunting. So, after maybe 10 minutes, by some unspoken assent, a movement, a cough, our experience of deep silence is over, and life begins to whip us on our way. We all begin slowly to stand. Polly catches my eye, gives me the little smile and shrug which I already know are characteristic of her. We begin to move downhill, back toward the waiting boats. It's a while before anyone speaks. Now it's mid-afternoon, and hardly silence. There's too much excitement. We're back on the ship. We're underway, and icebergs are coming. They appear ahead, one after the next, conveyed from a great manufactory, the distant Daugard-Jensen glacier at the top of the fjord. A dozen of us, much the same dozen who had sat on the hill this morning, are leaning out over the ship's white metal bow as far as we dare. The photographers with their cameras, the birders with binoculars.